Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Grendel shows you how to use the N52 with WoW. Today we're going to be doing warrior profile. This will work with any spec. I just happen to be protection, but you can lay this out and it'll work. Should work for any specific spec you happen to be. This is Rajin. He's going to be our test dummy today. Say hello, Rajin. Alright, he's currently pimping it down here in the Swamp of Sorrows, farming leather for the Thorium Brotherhood, because he wants those blacksmithing plans. Hey, what can I say? I'm retro. Anyway, just a quick overview of what we're doing here. Obviously you can see the action bars. I'm using my Domino's layout. I've got this a little modified because I'm using a 12 by 10 resolution for filming. Normally I run in 1680 by 1050 and it's widescreen, so this all actually fits better, but this is for showing the layouts so you can see what's going on. I've got a couple other mods running on here. Very important for warrior, it's got to have your HUD so you can actually see what's going on and see your health bars relative to your targets and stuff. Some targeting, X pearls for your target of target, that could be a good thing. What else important? Chatter, currently got it on shut up so no one bothers me while I'm trying to do stuff. It's about my third filming today because it's been busy. A bunch of other mods. Oh, the big plus here, that's power auras, and I can use that for showing all sorts of information on screen because I have a thing like, I forget what stance I'm in, so I got my little stance there. I can show debuffs, I can show things like how many sunders I have on my target, all sorts of good information with that, and it's very configurable. It's awesome. You'll see some of it pop up as I'm going along. Let's see. This is my the HUD. I've got a portrait on here. I can click on here to get to my usual portrait menu for all that good stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Fluff stuff. Let's get into what really matters here, which is what we're doing with this profile for a warrior. So we've got our 4 action bars showing, and they're all bound, and this is all going to be in blue mode on the N52. No switching modes on the N52 at all. This is all just one mode. We've got our main action bar here, which is bound 1 through 0, which is laid out exactly the way the N52 is. This starts actually with B02, B03, B04, B05, 5, 10, 15. The leftmost column over here would be Shift, Control, and Alt, which pressing Shift and one of those will give us this one. This is the Control action bar. This is the Alt action bar. Alright, we've got our main action. Again, back to our main action bar. We're running with currently in battle stance. And you can see we can swap out to defensive stance and berserker stance, and the action bar swaps out. Now you may notice over here this tracked with whatever my stance was. This is actually a macro which changes my stance and my armor set. Now, no, you can't change armor in the middle of combat, but you can change weapons. But it's also good for this is bound to this mod up here, which is wardrobe. It's an outfitter mod, and I've got it set up with actually keep maintaining different armor sets and weapon sets based on my stances. So for instance, this macro right here, what it'll do is it'll change me to battle stance and put on the wardrobe outfit that I have for battle stance. So let's go ahead and hit that. And it throw on this stuff, and this is geared, let's see, we've got my Whirlwind Axe, which is one of the Warrior Quest items. So this one is my arm spec, or my arm setup, and I've got my two-handed weapon, and I go in there and just clobber things. We've got Tank Stance, which puts us sword and board. And we've got our Berserker Stance set, Furioso, and that swaps us out to Berserker Stance and puts on our Berserker gear. Or in the words of, let's see, WoW Insider, I think it's Matt Rossi there, hitting things until they're dead, or stop moving around like that. Anyway, so that's these. And what that allows you to do is, now this is control 1 through 3 and control up, down or left or right, and back. And the reason I have that set up, this is my I'm going to charge and get into combat, so that's forward. This is my I'm going to stand and deliver, so it's left or right, and that's just I forget which one it's supposed to be, so I have it bound to both. To be clear, control D-pad left or right, and then control back on the D-pad for Berserker stance, and that sets me up. Now, what that allows me to do is to change my stance or change my gear and my stance. So let's say I want to get into I'm going to go tanking. But first I need to charge. So I'm in tank. I'm now wearing my tank gear, but I'm ready to get into combat. And then once I'm in combat, I can actually change my stance to that. And that's all done on the D-pad. Here, stance specific. Actual weapon swaps are control 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah. Something you may think is useful and interesting. Alright, let's get into design philosophy. Now that we've done that happy little the stance dance. One of the things that is important here is to understand the concept of splitting out your action bars, your abilities on your action bars, so you don't have stuff you can't use showing based on your stance. So for instance, if I'm in battle stance, I can't use defense-specific abilities, like for instance revenge. So there's no point in showing it on the stance bar whenever I'm in battle stance. So this is stance-specific abilities. Now I have other abilities that aren't stance-specific, so there's no point swapping them out, and those are all over here. This is all the stuff that just, hey, you have to have a weapon in order to do it, or doesn't require anything. So there's no point in cluttering up your main bar with these things that don't rely on your stance. So this is all my battle stance stuff. So we have the basic principle behind this is this column is your things you need in every stance. So you need your attack ability, you need your something I'm going to do that's stance specific all the time ability, and something I'm going to do in this stance that I only do very rarely and has a cooldown on it. And that's your lower thumb button here. So that's usually like in this particular case, it's all these things that are 5-minute cooldowns, but they're stance specific. Your top bar is going to be all your damage abilities, just straight up damage, right? So I've got my heroic strike, do a lot of damage. My overpower, do a lot of damage. You can't dodge it, neener neener. My dot, hey, you're bleeding, that sucks. Okay. Then I've got my control abilities. Don't really know how else to put it. Basically my taunt, and then my AoE damage ability, and my either finisher or stance-specific knock it off ability. You'll see that in a second. Down here I've got my interrupts and stop running, walking away from me when I'm hitting you abilities, which in this case is hamstring,